research question in this project was, how can we make sure open source does not create risks while still giving the benefits of all the speed and efficiency you get from pulling in third-party components? And this sort of research project was also the basis for the founding of the company Debricked itself. So this is sort of at the core of what we are looking at the company as well. And this is, of course, not this is a well-known problem, I would want to say. I mean, if we look at the OWASP top 10 that was mentioned before, so this is a list of the top 10 sort of most important security problems in web applications. I would say it's the de facto security standard for this. If we look at number 9 on this list, we see that we have using components with known vulnerabilities. And this is what I was talking about on the previous slide, right? If we use components and then don't bother to update them, then we can get into trouble. So what we want to do here is to get all the benefits, right? We want to keep using these nice third-party components that someone has written, but we want to also efficiently handle all the vulnerabilities that can arise in them. So this is a sort of perfect example of where it's useful to have automation, because then we can use automation to sort of do this boring stuff for us, the boring part of handling vulnerability, handling dependencies correctly, and then just focus on doing the fun stuff, like writing code and developing new features and these kind of things. Now that we have sort of seen that, okay, this seems to be a very, very serious vulnerability, we need to address this and fix this in our project. It would be nice if we could get some help with this too, right? So what we can also use automation for this by using the suggested fix button in this case. So here we actually get some help from the tool as well on how we can get rid of this vulnerability. So in this case, we see that this is a reference to the file I showed you before, the COM file which described the different dependencies. And here we can see that, okay, to get rid of this vulnerability, you need to upgrade this dependency to version 2.3.32. So here you also get some automated sort of guidance on how can I get rid of this, which is very useful for developers, so that you don't have to manually see, okay, which version do I need to upgrade to get rid of this particular vulnerability. This was essentially what I wanted to show you. So a few different areas related to sort of dependency management. I would say the sort of main point of this talk is that it's extremely useful and important to use automated tools to perform this kind of analysis, because it's too much work to actually do this manually. So you need this kind of automated tooling. Both, as I showed you, to actually do this integration in your source code tools so that you can see the results early. And this is also important so that you can quickly upgrade to the correct version, and that saves a lot of development time, so you don't perform development using a version that you later on need to upgrade anyway. And also it's very useful to use these kind of tools to give you a guide on what you need to do to solve different vulnerabilities, because not all developers have security as their sort of main area. And usually when you do development, you don't want to focus on security. You want to actually get stuff done. And then it's very useful to have these kind of tools as a guide to help you make informed decisions as a part of the development process.
The second question we have is a very specific question. What do you think of GitHub's Dependabot? Is it reliable?
I think there are some different competitors in this area as well. I think Dependabot does a decent job, I guess. I might be a bit biased, I guess, but I would say that the difference between these kind of tools and Debricked in our case is that we spend a lot of time in actually getting our data very curated and right. We have a whole team that works with AI just to sort of get this our data very correct, so we get both a big and high recall and a good precision, so that we reduce the amount of false positives. So I would say that's the major difference.